My Dream Holiday, episode number 4. It's actually 4 months today since we landed from Thailand. And this has been the best time of my life, in some ways. I bought this car at an auction for $300 and traded it home with my grandfather's brand new 1972 Chev pickup. I decided when I was a young guy that I wasn't going to make any car payments. And so I would rather get dirty in my own shop and not have to pay for everything all the time. But this is the reason that most people don't do stuff like this. And there's a couple more reasons. This and this. Or other things, right? We get to choose our poison or our pleasure. And I just really love the creativity of having to build. I gotta show you some stuff on here that, well, it fascinates me. Like, look at this cowl lamp. It was all broken up, pot metal, it can't be fixed. And nowhere to get a new one. You know, this is a Dodge, a 1929 Dodge. And you can get parts for Fords and Chevs quite easily. But Dodges is hard to get anything. So you just make one. So I got a few different sizes of pipe and welded them together and filled in any low spots with weld and then started grinding and sanding until it got down to nice and smooth. Then I took it with me to Thailand on one trip and got it chrome plated for a couple bucks. And there we have a part that's pretty well irreplaceable. And the lens, I found this lens on eBay for $8. It was quite a bit too big, but I actually discovered that if you use some kind of a diamond tip bit, I used one for cutting holes in ceramic tile, and put it underwater, you know, in a pan of water on the drill press and let it spin, you can grind down the glass. And so I ground it down 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And there you have it, you know, an irreplaceable, priceless object of art. These taillights are made out of parts from Chinatown in Bangkok. So are my fog lights, and I just take them apart and put new mounts on them, and then I make all that by hand, and then take them back to Thailand and get them chrome plated. When I bought this car at the auction sale, part of the information was that this door was smashed in beyond repair, and it was, but as a kid, what do you do? So I hammer and a torch and a bunch of Bondo and used it like that for a bunch of years. This year I decided to make a brand new door inside and out from about like here down. And I made myself an English wheel. I got the wheels from England, Stoke-on-Trent, if you can imagine. And our new in-laws, their son married our daughter, and so he brought them to Thailand for me, and I took them from Thailand to Canada and put together this English wheel and a bead roller that I hooked up some power to, and was able to fashion this out of steel. I'm fascinated by that. The English wheel you can make compound bends and so on. And of course it's got electric windows in it. Remember that 1958 Chrysler New Yorker? My first car, one of my first cars? These are the electric windows out of it, and that goes into the doors here of my 29 Dodge. So it has electric windows. It's actually easier than manual ones to fix and to repair. And I had to make all new hardware and mechanism for the door and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's fascinating. Am I boring you? And the ladies always want to know, what kind of engine? Keep it simple, that's the deal. So just a simple old 350 or 5.7 liter Chev V8. And I have one of these in all of my old vehicles. So that way, over there in the cupboard, there's a pile of starters and alternators and water pumps. And anything goes wrong, you just switch it out. Parts are a dime a dozen, really easy to fix. And I've rebuilt a number of these, and it's fun because you can't really go wrong, and it's kind of like, hey, you built that engine yourself. Well, yeah, nothing to it. When you tear a car like this apart, or my 42 Chev truck or whatever, you realize that there's thousands of parts, and every part has to be right. It has to be renewed, refreshed. Every bearing, every seal, every gear, rebuilt the steering box, transmission, clutch, all the way back the rear end. Learned how to set up, the pinion and crown gear. clearances and that kind of thing. I love doing that because I get to learn something new all the time, and I'm determined that every year I'm going to learn something new. But the financial principle behind this is that when I was a kid, I had a 58 Chrysler New Yorker and took it in for a brake job. And if you watched episode 2, I think I mentioned that. And was surprised to go back and pick it up and find out that the bill wasn't $25 according to the promotion, but it was $125. And where is a kid going to come up with that kind of money? And so I decided there, I'm done. No garages for me, boy. I'll learn whatever I need to learn. And so since then, fixed everything myself. And what that does is it's an option, right? So you build a vehicle like this and some of the other ones that I have. First of all, they're real head turners. Like, nobody looks at you going down the road in your SUV. And my wife's a little embarrassed. She says, everybody's staring at us and I don't know where to look. Like, should I wave at them or what? I said, just blow them kisses. Wave like the Queen. And so it's fun that way. And then on top of that, no car payments. Like, I've never had to make car payments. And you think about that, and no collision insurance over a lifetime. That's a lot of work a lot of wages I didn't have to earn. So financially, that's been the approach that's helped us move ahead on the mission field and build the things that we built across Asia. And people, the old saying, jack of all trades and master of none. It's actually not true. You can master many trades, and you can master a new one every year. It doesn't mean you'll be a master, but it means that you will do just as good as a master who couldn't care less about the quality of work he gives you, right? Unless you've got really good equipment and a really good paint booth, you're probably going to end up wet sanding, at least some parts. And this car, I've been wet sanding for hours, but it's coming out nice. Not show quality, but it's going to be awesome. Going down the road at 100 miles an hour, nobody's going to know the difference. And so when it's your own stuff, you care. And not only that, you never get mad at anybody. You never get angry at somebody who messed it up because you messed it up yourself. And boy, have I ever messed it up sometimes. I've had to take this whole thing apart. We put antifreeze in here and it all came into the crankcase. Now, how do you do that? It's a long story. I had to tear the whole thing down again and get all the oil out of the radiator and all of the antifreeze out of the crankcase. But I never really feel sorry about that kind of stuff either, because it doesn't cost much to make those kind of mistakes when there's no hourly wages, And there's Esther 30 years later, polishing the same chrome. But we've been able to learn to do things and come up with resources and come up with solutions to challenges and problems all the way across building the ministry and building our family and so on. And there's something cool about that, Leaders need to be able to be people who can figure things out. That's really a good definition, actually. Because when there's a solution, or when there's a solution needed, there's a problem and there's no solution, the guy who comes up with the solution is the leader. And he's the influencer. And we want to influence people for the good and for the gospel. And I don't ever want to be dull. I don't ever want to be left without a story to tell. And tell your stories. They're so important. Not just because they happen to you, but because of the lessons that they illustrate. And I don't say learn, because a lot of times you don't learn much by experience. You don't learn much by making mistakes. You just get motivated to learn it and to figure it out. Mistakes don't really teach you anything. The truth is what teaches you. You need the facts. You need the goods. You need the reality. Whether it's building engines or building people's lives, it's the truth that breaks through. There's actually no degree from the school of hard knocks, unless you want a degree for stupid. Yeah, you can't fix stupid. You can't train it. But you sure can learn a lot if you're just willing to try something you've never tried before. So that's the key, is to do something today, this week, next week, that you've never done before. Learn something. Learn to do something new. And you think, even if it seems a little futile, no. It'll help you in so many areas of life to be able to just assimilate new knowledge and new understanding. So this week we passed the insurance inspection, mechanical inspection. It was difficult to find a garage to do that. And here's this same mentality we run into all the time. I went to the garage just up the street and said, oh, no, we can't. You got to take that to a special garage for special classic cars because there's a special set of rules. No, there isn't. The insurance company wants to know if the tires are good, the brakes are good, the steering's good, the signal lights work. That's all they want to know. And they want a real live mechanic to sign that. So I found a guy at another tire shop, Cal Tire Shop in Calgary here, and he said, oh yeah, no problem. We can do that. It's just the Alberta government form, fill it out, and you give it to your insurance company. So if you see me coming at you down the highway, give me 2 lanes, okay? Just in case.